Live and free on Power TV from the Toowoomba Sports Club, this is the TRL Footy Show, brought to you this week by the Oakey RSL and Power FM. And here's your host from the Obie and Cookie Call, Andrew O'Brien, aka Obie.
Well, as always, thanks, Robbo. I am on fire this week, I can tell you. And let me introduce my co-host tonight. It's none other than Nev Cherry. How are you, Nev?
Mate, I'm going well, Obie. It's great to be back here, like getting huge reach out there in the community, especially the footy's been at a high standard over the weekend, especially the 47th Battalion, the girls and blokes, and it's been great.
Yeah, well, you went down south, mate. You must have the DTs not having any football injected into you.
I know.
And you're away the week before too.
Yeah, no, good for a break. Good for a break.
That's good.
So.
And I've invited along the Toowoomba Phillies coach, David McCall. Welcome, David.
Good to be back again, Ove. It's always good to get back and speak about the ladies' game and promote it in the future.
And mate, you're a big Bulldogs fan, and you were robbed last week in the NRL, weren't you?
Mate, and a referee. You know, I honestly think he got it wrong, but we do make mistakes, and the doggies were ripped off.
I liked the meme that was on social media, and it had the referee and David Clemmer. And David Clemmer said when that incident happened at the end, what was that penalty for? And the referee said, because Broncos are behind.
Well,
and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. So look, let's get into the show. And the Mustangs, they play Mackay Cutters at Gold Park. So get out to there on the Sunday and support that Mustangs and Mackay Cutters. And look, I welcome the Mackay boys down to the striving metropolis of Toowoomba, and I hope you enjoy our hospitality, and we don't wish you all the best of luck, but I hope you go very, very well. And then on to the Phillies, and of course your side had as all the ladies competition. David had a bye last week because of the 47th Battalion, and you're up against East, and they are sprinkled with Gillaroos, aren't they, mate?
it's Gillaroos and Kiwi Internationals. They're leading the competition at the moment, and it's going to be a very, very hard game.
And who plays for East, mate?
Well, I know that their fullback has been around for a long time. I can't recall their names, but I know that she's been there in Australia and seen one of the key players, and she's the one that won the game from on the Bellas in the first round against us. So we've got to get on top of her.
That would be
it's on the end of my
Krause, I think her name is. Anyway, she made the 47th Battalion. But look, it was fantastic, and we wish you Phillies all go. And the second division, the first divisions are playing at Herb Steinhardt Oval. What time, mate?
The first grade are kicking off at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Saturday afternoon.
Oh, Saturday afternoon, and we are there at 6 o'clock live on Power FM special events for that Valleys Gundawindi game as well. So we'll get there a bit early just to watch those girls, because we had a great time on the weekend, Nev. We were the 47th. We got to know the Phillies pretty well, but look, hasn't the girls really captured the hearts of the Toowoomba Rugby League fraternity?
Obie, they certainly have. I was just mentioned there to David before. Previously, they were girls playing rugby league. Now, amongst the league fraternity, they're rugby league players, and the job that you've done with them, David, the whole region, it's just phenomenal, and the league community's really taken it to heart, and it's a really well done job.
And look, the way the game's played now, and the girls are really open arms to that they, yes, there's bumps and fens and so forth, but not as cutthroat as it was 10 years ago, mate.
Oh, it's moved on now. It won't be long before the girls turn semi-professional. They start getting paid to play just like the boys do every week.
Yep.
And hopefully that'll come in one day, because they do deserve it. They play the whole 80 minutes, and they do tough it out, and they do train just as hard as the men.
And second division, they're playing West down at Arana Hills on Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
What time's there?
I think their kick-off's about 5:30.
Now, they've lost a few on the trot, haven't they, mate? Because they were undefeated up until a few weeks ago.
Well, they were leading the competition, but as you know, the second division team feed into the A-grade side. We've had a few injuries, and those girls have come up into the A-grade side and stepped up really well. And I'm sure when we get all our injured players back, that they'll be back on the winners list.
That's right. So, look, we're going to talk about the Phillies, and we're going to talk about that now, actually, whereas I did plan to have it after the break. But what I'm going to say is that the 47th Battalion, especially the girls, was absolutely fantastic, David. And you must be proud as punch, being a coach, to get players. And I will mention that we spoke about it beforehand, and in the Central Crows side, and hopefully we can have that clip up of the ladies rep side there at the moment. And Tegan Gibbs, Steph Hancock and Molly McConnell have made that Central Crows side. Now, they were playing off for 5th and 6th, our Southwest Mustang side, right? So it's a credit to those, especially those two girls, Tegan Gibbs. We loved her. She was fantastic.
Tegan is the backbone of the forward pack. She goes out there every week and she just carts that ball up all day. And when she does run the ball, she's always looking to offload it. So our players are starting to learn her game, and we're starting to score a lot of tries off Tegan. And she's a player for the future, and I think she'll excel and go even higher.
Do you think, Dave, where would Tegan rate in development-wise against, say, someone like Steph Hancock?
Well, the day that Tegan and Steph played each other, they had a really good tussle. I would say we had the best two front rowers of the whole carnival on the weekend, and both front rowers got into that Crows side. So that's, you know, the way that the girls have improved this year. It's been unbelievable, and Tegan's really led from the front.
Yeah, wow.
Now, Dave, what really excited me was that the other players that got picked in the emerging Central Crows women's side, albeit separate to the Central Crows top side, was Regan Beadmore, Kiralee Sires and Lauren Coburn. Now, Regan Beadmore, right, I saw her play, and I tell you what, Nev.
Is she a St George girl?
St George girl. I'm going to say now, she's only 17, all right. She will play for Australia one day, and she is fantastic.
She's unbelievable. She's way ahead of a lot of other girls that are 17. She's got a level head on her. She knows how to read a game. She knows when to run. She knows how to pass. And to top it off, her parents drive her down every weekend from St George, 4.5 hour drive, just to play for the Phillies.
Well, what is she, a forward or a back?
She's a utility back.
Hooker, halves. I'm sure she can play in the centres and fullback, but her skill level was better than a lot of the guys we see even in A grade, so she was fantastic. Now Molly McConnell, I'll get back to her, but Kiralee Sires at the back, she showed no fear, right? She was a very, very good foil and support group for that as well. Now, I think she's very good. Lauren Coburn, on the other hand, she was a great second phase follower.
Lauren Coburn's been the most improved player of the whole year in all the Phillies squad. I think she's got player of the match the last 3 weeks in a row. She's just improved. She had an ordinary game a couple of weeks ago and she learned from the mistakes. She's gone out there and led from the front again. Her and Tegan and Molly, they deserve to be where they are. And it's because they're playing A grade now. Selectors are looking at them. And they're going, look at these guys.
Well, David, say the hard work they've put in the off-season, the pre-season, in the games. Looking at this list, 6 girls representing the region with the Crows, that certainly is paid off. So they're certainly doing something right out there.
Oh, it's going to be great for the representative sides, but our Phillies are going to lose those 6 players.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, that's right. But let's get away from the fact here that the Phillies, or the ladies' competition here, last season were only playing Division 2 in Brisbane. Now they're playing Division 1 and competitive, and then last weekend they're playing at the next level above that. So they were very, very good, and it's just oozing excitement, isn't it, Dave?
Oh, mate, well, out of the 20 players selected, 19 were from the Phillies. Wow. That was our whole team.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Well, look, Dave, thanks for coming on today. We're really excited about the Women's Rugby League, and take us to the break. After the break, we're going to have newly announced Central Crows representative player Dylan Chown. Take us to the break, Robbo.
And coming up after the break, we'll look in depth at last weekend's 47th Battalion tournament on the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by the OKRSL and Power FM, live and free on Power TV.
heads, welcome to our staff.
Hi, this is Mick Jagger on
Classic Vinyl.
This is Debbie Harrow from Blondie.
This is Jimmy Barnes here.
Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac.
This is Reverend Willie G from ZZ Top.
The best tracks from the greatest albums of our generation.
That's right.
From your breakfast and coffee to your drive home.
We've got the classic hits that make your workday.
When you got a job to do.
Go by a lot faster.
Hey, if we haven't said it lately, thanks for listening. The home of classic rock.
Don't touch the dial.
PowerFMRadio.com.au.
Whether you're a professional musician, a weekend warrior, or just starting out, you need to talk to the experts at Royce Music. With over 35 years experience, Royce Toowoomba's oldest music store specialises in guitars, drums and sound equipment, and can even repair and maintain your equipment. Call them today on 46 327 377, drop into their showroom at 17 Bowen Street, or find them on Facebook. Royce Music, selling Toowoomba's finest musical instruments.
Hi, I'm Neil from CGD Group, and we do printing with imagination. Our products and imaging have that wow factor. Whether it be business cards, flyers, the Coffee Gazette, or our brand new A5 video folders and animation. Have your business branding remembered. Call us today on 4639 5553. CGD Group, printing with imagination.
On Power TV Australia, we take a frank look at computers, the internet and social media with a team of experts from around the world with Switched On IT. Learn what makes the internet tick and how to keep your kids safe online. Discover a whole new world of entertainment at www.powertvaustralia.com or download the app from the Google Play Store.
The Mother's Day Classic raises funds for the National Breast Cancer Foundation, a not-for-profit organisation that promotes and supports research into the prevention and treatment of breast cancer. This year's event is on Sunday 13 May at Queen's Park, Lindsay Street, East Toowoomba from 7 a.m. Register now online for either the 3-kilometre walk or 6-kilometre run at www.mothersdayclassic.com.au. Then follow the prompts to the Toowoomba event. Cost for adult early birds $20 or on the day $25. Child concession early birds $10 or on the day $15, and family registrations are available. For more info, email mdctoowoomba@gmail.com. The Mother's Day Classic is proudly supported by Power TV Australia and Toowoomba's Power FM.
This is the TRL Footy Show live and free from the Toowoomba Sports Club on Power TV. And now it's back to Obi and the panel.
Yeah, well, thanks, Robbo. Now we're going to talk about 47 Battalion and review that on the weekend. It's a pleasure to have for the first time on the Toowoomba Rugby League Footy Show one of my favourite players, Dylan Chown. Welcome to the Footy Show, mate.
No, thank you very much for having me.
Have all your mates, have you told all your mates, mate?
No, I've kept it pretty quiet.
Oh, there we go, mate. I think he's a movie star in the making, don't you think?
Mate, he sure is. I can see why he's keeping it quiet, but he's from New South Wales, we were originally,
exactly right.
So now you're playing for Queensland, you beauty.
Yeah, obviously he's nervous being sitting next to a media star like myself. But look, Dylan, the 47th Battalion, you certainly deserved your selection into the Central Crows men's side, where incidentally, those selected for the Central men's side was Steve Franciscus, Corey McGrady, Dylan Chown, Jason Wardrop and Ben Sullivan. So, look, I thought, well, I will say to you, first of all, mate, I thought you were supposed to play Gladstone on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And it kind of come back to bite you a bit, right, because you didn't get your combinations. Okay, and then it showed in the first half against Rocky, which is your second game, where you were down 8-0 at half time.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. That not having that first game really hurt us a bit. We got off to a slow start and we didn't complete well, and I think we went out and played footy too early. We didn't get in the wrestle, and we were down 8-0 at half time, and Steve pulled us aside and said, "Oh, look, we've got points in us. We just need to hold the ball and complete sets, and it showed that we scored the points in the end.
I think you're probably a little bit nervous, to say the truth, but I noticed in the second half, Corey McGrady came on, and you scored the customary, Corey does that blind pass with you coming on the inside. You already had Matt Duggan and Jared Lee there, mate. Why didn't you do it earlier?
Oh, I don't know, mate. It was a bit different coming off the bench, but once Corey got on there, he really went into his own, and he's a very talented footballer, and it shows. Like, some of the things he does, you just look twice and go, geez, wish I could do that.
Yeah, and look, just on Corey, I mentioned at the time, Nev, that I thought he was a smoky for the Central Crows, and yes, I'm an Einstein, mate. He actually got on the side, mate, but we're seeing his skill level fantastic at the moment, Nev.
I think, Obi, the best is yet to come. I think he's really going to shine the last 4 fixture games into the semis for our regular competition, but I'm not surprised at all. Everywhere you go, everyone you hear about him, he's a certainly talented player. And just going through this list, 6 players from our region in the Crows side, like, has that ever been done before? And that just tells you the talent of rugby league players running around in Toowoomba at the moment, Obi.
Yeah, it certainly does, and I'm a happy man because the balance they got right, the selectors. Last year was really critical of the selections, and rightly so as far as I'm concerned, but look, I thought the balance was pretty right. I thought a couple of unlucky people, right? Alex Ambier, all right? He played well, but the bloke who took his place, he played well as well. And I thought Alona Budden played very well, Dylan, don't you reckon?
Yeah, no, he played very well. And he's a consistent player every week for us, so we know what he's going to get. But I think the thing that cost him was game time. And if he starts, like, he knows what he's going to go out there and do. And it comes back to that, I think.
I think the thing with Nolan is that people forget, what is he, 22-year-old?
Yeah, he's very young.
He's still only a young fella, so, man, another 3 years' time, geez, he's going to be a good forward.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. It's only going to be better off for the experience.
Yeah, I've been thinking since we had the tournament on the weekend, I just need to twig it a little bit, Dylan. Like, they're 25-minute halves now.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And it's a sprintathon, isn't it, Dylan?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. You look out there and go, 25-minute halves. You think, you can't really get into the grind like an 80-minute game. It's go from the start, and that's very different.
Well, it'll be nearly over before you even start. Once you get in that groove,
you really got to be the first to score, to put the pressure on the other team, and you're on the back foot then.
Yeah, I'm going to try and influence if I can. I think probably the preliminary rounds need to be 25 minutes, and then the second round, say 30 minutes. But in the finals and even the one before that, right, the selectors and the coaches are looking to see where the players, how they perform over an 80-minute time slot.
I think you're right, Obi, too. And, like, it's not like a pre-season competition. These guys are match hard and they're fit, so they can handle that sort of pressure and that time frame, no worries at all.
Yeah, and look, I just, hopefully we can twig it a little bit. It's next year at the Sunshine Coast, and I like your chances, Dylan, because you've got that Sunshine Coast skeg-looking sort of hair, Dylan. But I do want to say to you, Dylan, I think you're playing better than you did last year. And I think probably your 1%ers are better. Did you get into the gym, or did you work harder in the off-season compared to others?
Oh, well, last year was a big step up for me. It was pretty much my first full season of A grade, got a pre-season in.
And you got bashed really in the finals, didn't you, mate? You were one sore boy after the finals. You had the flu. And look, the flu, and that does come on
that time of year.
Because of the quality of play.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. You've got to be up for the whole of the competition. But looking back now, it's hard to cop, but I think we're better off with that experience. It was our first final series pretty much together, and we've all been there.
I would say, I went out and watched us play a couple of games. You're a humble side this year compared to where you were last year. I think last year's a little bit, not arrogant, but I think you're ahead of yourselves. But I've watched you this year, and your whole side's humble. You've got a workaholic theme going on, and just with your speed off the mark, Dylan, have you done anything there? I mean, you're electrifying. You burn people like I've seen no one do.
Nah, mate, it's natural, but it's something that I want to improve too. So it comes back, like you said, the 1%ers, and I think this year's different is our defence. And we looked at that in the final series, and that probably wasn't there.
Yep.
We know we can score points like anywhere, but our defence, we want to have the mentality, if we can keep them to 10, 12 points, we can score them.
Yep.
So that's the biggest thing for us.
It's a long season, Dylan, you know, and you were probably a little bit spent before going to finals last year. Have you spoken to Brett about pacing yourself over this year? Because you show no fear, you know, you really do. And sometimes I can see that because you show no fear, you meet the equivalent of Dylan Chown or a Jason Wardrop, and it's hard stuff. So have you talked about pacing yourself this season?
Nah, mate. Everyone's out there putting their body on the line every week, so I'm not going to put myself aside and go, oh, I want a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it, so.
All right. Well, look, we're going to take that up after the break. So that's the 47th Battalion, a very, very successful tournament in Toowoomba, and what can I say? Mission accomplished. So over to you, Robbo.
We'll take a break, and next up we'll have a look at round 7 of the TRL right now on Power TV.
Looking for exposure for your business or event? Take your business, community event, training seminar, sports fixture, function, concert or exhibition to the world with Power TV Australia and Power FM's unique live outside simulcasts. We can turn your next local event into a worldwide sensation with stunning live pictures, interviews, graphics and live action replays for a fraction of the usual cost. From a festival or sports fixtures to a corporate or charity event, Power TV Australia and Power FM can take your message live to our local and national viewers and listeners. Invite the world to your party by contacting Barry today on 0431 390 920 or email programming@powertvaustralia.com for a quote.
Hi, this is Sarah and Bron looking after our feet at Hip Pocket Toowoomba. Lace up, zip side, pull on, men's, women's, kids, healthcare and construction. Get fitted for your shoes and check out our range of work socks. At Hip Pocket, we rock it.
Art by Leonardo's has moved to the Toowoomba Homemaker Centre. Sit down with a coffee and our friendly, experienced staff can help you choose the perfect custom frame to suit your artwork and budget. Plus, all framing is done on site. Come and visit us at our new showroom. At the roundabout, take the third exit onto the War Ego Highway.
See, honey, we will be there in no time.
You were supposed to take this online is easier.
Make a U-turn immediately.
It's all right, honey. The GPS is just recalibrating.
Turn left into the river now.
This is going well. The car park is chockers. Why didn't we just go online?
Yes, madam. Just take the mouse and log on to powerfmrockshop.com.au.
The Power FM Rock Shop. You bought the album, saw the concert, now own the t-shirt. www.powerfmrockshop.com.au.
Hi, this is Bron and Sarah from Hip Pocket Toowoomba. Join us every Monday night at 7 p.m. on Power TV Australia for our new safety show, Rocking It with Hip Pocket. When we explore work safety issues, demonstrate how to use safety equipment, discuss your workwear and PPE options, and much, much more. Find out what safety equipment you need for the job, why you need it, and how to use it in this fast-paced, informative show. Discover a whole new world of entertainment every Monday night at 7 p.m. at www.powertvaustralia.com or download the app from the Google Play Store. And remember, at Hip Pocket, we rock it.
The Mother's Day Classic raises funds for the National Breast Cancer Foundation, a not-for-profit organisation that promotes and supports research into the prevention and treatment of breast cancer. This year's event is on Sunday, 13 May at Queen's Park, Lindsay Street, East Toowoomba from 7 a.m. Register now online for either the 3-kilometre walk or 6-kilometre run at www.mothersdayclassic.com.au. Then follow the prompts to the Toowoomba event. Cost for adults early birds $20 or on the day $25. Child concession early birds $10 or on the day $15, and family registrations are available. For more info, email mdctoowoomba@gmail.com. The Mother's Day Classic is proudly supported by Power TV Australia and Toowoomba's Power FM.
And welcome back to the TRL Footy Show from the Toowoomba Sports Club, live and free on Power TV Australia. Now it's back to Obi and the panel for a preview of round 7 of the TRL.
Well, thanks, Robbo. We're into round 7 and back into the grind of the Toowoomba Rugby League as we go forward to the Mats and Rasmussen. I really like the way we're going at the moment with this competition. I was going to ask you, Dylan, about the level of competition. Have you found it's tougher out there on the field?
Oh, definitely. This year's a lot more open comp. There's about 6-7 teams that really could win it on their day, and it's definitely hard to pick. I wouldn't want to be tossing a coin.
Yeah, we're finding that as well, aren't we, Nev?
Mate, we certainly are, Obi. Like, I thought Highfields would have done Wattles that last week. No worries at all. But as you see, it turned around, that Wattles took the win. But the whole competition, every week you get a great game. It's going ahead in bounds.
Well, let's look at the first game. We're calling this game on Power FM Special Events, as well as you'll see the links through Facebook. It's Valleys. You guys are at home to Gundawindi. Now, look, I wrote this week, Nev, that the rounds are going, right? They're coming, round 1, 2, 3, and they're getting a bit out of reach here for Gundawindi. Gundawindi have got fantastic names on paper, but they are disappointing themselves, aren't they?
They are. They promised so much at the start of the year. They recruited really well, they trained really well, and as you said, on paper, they looked $1 million. They're just missing that little spark. I'm not sure if it's in the halves or in the hooker or organisational skill behind the play, but they're nearly there, and I don't think they've got to change much to really scare some sides, Obi. And Scotty Schultz is a smart coach and a smart player in his day. I think he'll rectify that problem.
Look, I think from a Gundawindi point of view, what I have noticed, statistics don't lie. Okay, their completion rate is poor at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay,
yep.
And they've really got to concentrate on that. We saw with Brothers last round, right, that they completed 17 out of 19 and were 2-0 against Warwick after half time. You know, so they really got to do that. Whereas with Valleys, you guys, the machines keep going at the present time. But as you said earlier, Dylan, is that you've been there, done that, and you must have thought, well, you had a good long winning streak last year, right? But that means nothing, doesn't it?
No, that's exactly right. It's, you know, with the football, it's the bounce of a ball, and it's whoever turns up on the day and wanting it the most will come away with the chocolates. So it's definitely going to be a tough game, and you know what Gundy are going to bring there. Good, honest game.
Yeah, they are, you know. And is there any changes or anyone injured at the moment with Valleys, mate?
No, mate, I think we're pretty much the same side. We've touched wood, we've got the same side, no injuries at the moment.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, as I said, that's the Obi Cookie Call. Kickoff's at 7 o'clock. We go to air at 6 p.m, so watch those links. Let's go on to Dolby Brothers, and Kev Carmichael is going to be our round the grounds Profume pest control person. Say that 3 times real fast and get it there as well. I'm looking forward to this game, Nev. It should be beauty.
Mate, certainly, Obi. Dolby, on a Saturday night out of Dolby, you can't get any better than that. And then, like as last week against Warwick, the brothers' sides, they'll mix it with you. It's just experience they're missing in the back end of a game. Sides blow them off the park, but Dolby won't be taking them lightly. I don't think Dolby can afford to take anyone lightly. I think they got taught a little lesson out against Wattles there a couple of weeks ago. So they'd reevaluate. Like, everyone's evaluating where they are this year compared to last year, but they know they've got some work to do.
Yeah, you've got some unfinished business against Dolby because the Dolby Roosters clashes have been monumental from last season, and they got done pretty nicely against Wattles a couple of weeks ago, which would have opened your eyes, being Roosters. But Dolby also have got something to prove on Saturday, haven't they?
No, that's exactly right. And Dolby's got high-class players like Franciscus and Wardrop and Ambia, so you know what you're going to get from them. And Brothers, like you said, when they complete, they can be in a game.
Yep.
So hope they turn up and it's in for a good game.
I've noticed when you're at fullback there and you've competed against blokes like Corey Blades and Alex Ambia, who'll be playing for Dolby, you'd have to say they're up there with the top of the people you as fullback, all right, have got to stop.
No, that's exactly right, mate. You want to go out there and win your one-on-one matchups, and that'll go a long way in your team winning the match. But also, you want your team to do well. You're not going to go out there and focus on individuals. You look at the team as a whole.
Okay, well, let's go on to the next game, Highfields Gatton, and I can tell you it's 2:30 p.m. at Cools Road out at Highfields on Sunday. And these two sides over the last 3 seasons have only had 1 or 2 points in. They've had draws as well, and it just seems to be these two sides as well. Hayden Lip comes into the halves for Gatton and Highfields. They were really good quality against Wattles, and Alan the Monster Morris comes back for Gatton as well. Burgoyne's out. All right, I think he's even out for the season, but we'll read about that on the weekend. But it's going to be a tough one, Nev.
Mate, it certainly is, Obi. What do they call it? The Battle of the Birds or something like that.
Yeah, so, they do, yeah. Eagles and the Hawks.
Hawks, yeah. But with the Highfield side, I've watched them more so than anyone this year. They're talented, they're skillful, they're a great side, they're really well coached. The one thing that's missing from them is I am yet to see a player stand up and take ownership of that side and take ownership of the result. So if they come up against the Gatton side, they're a bit like Gundy. There's lots of talk about them in the pre-season. They've got a good coach, they've got a good roster. And I think this is the week that they really need to stand up and be accounted for the Gatton side, or they might be on a bit of a slide out of the comp.
Yeah, look, I think it's crucial for both sides here, mate. How do you see this one going, Dylan?
It's tough, but I reckon Highfield's going to come away with the win. They're a young, fit side. And you know, Gus is always going to have his side up for these type of games. But also, you can't take Gatton lightly. They're a big side, and if you let them roll up your middle, you're in for a long day.
Look, I will say that the reserve grade and under 18 games at this venue this week between Highfields and Gatton are all quality, top of the ladder clashes for all those 3 games, and it's going to be fantastic. And Nev, you're going to be out there, which is great. Let's get on to the next game. It's the OB and Cookie Call in our Hutchies match of the round, live on Power FM, and that is Pittsworth versus Wattles. How do you see this one going, Nev?
Mate, Pittsworth, every win they have, Wattles, every win they have, they're getting closer to a loss. And if Pittsworth, anyone's going to upset them, it's going to be Pittsworth. Out there on a Sunday Arvie in their home ground. They've had a tough start to the year, Pittsworth, and I think if they can get it together this weekend and things can click for them, Wattles might be in for a bit of a surprise, I think, Obi.
Yeah, well, I see that Pittsworth are just nicely coming up. They had a great rebound win.
That's an Ian Brackstone side.
Yeah, over Gundawindi, and then they were very competitive against you guys, 16-10 at half-time last round. They've got Bruno Brosnan back, and I know Curtis Sharla's, I think, at least training this week, whether he plays or not, but they're starting to get some momentum there. I was speaking to Daniel York, and look, there are a good chance here as well with Wattles. As for Wattles, okay, I tried to do this, but for their rep players, you're going to sort of say that they're going to be tired, but nah. That went out the door a couple of weeks ago. But look, I'm still going for Wattles. How do you see this one going, mate?
As Nev said, out at Pittsworth on a Sunday Arve, it's definitely a tough road trip. But you look at the Wattles side, and they got Duggan, they got Green, Mitch Coyner. I really can't go past them, but she's definitely going to be a flip of a coin.
Yeah, look, I must admit, I was so impressed his last 3 weeks with Mitch Coyner. His work rate is unbelievable, Nev.
Mate, he's certainly a good player.
Yeah, that's right. And then look, don't forget they got Matty Duggan. He got married, and I think he's from Rep, and he's come back, and so he's looking forward to it. And you're going Wattles or Pittsworth?
I'll go Wattles, but I'd like.
And you're Wattles. I think we're all Wattles as well. And then we go to Warwick South. Now, look, just briefly about South. I think now, guys, that if they're getting beaten by 60, their goal should be to get beaten by 50 or 40, right? And they've got to understand their season from there as well. Warwick have got, they can hold their training session in the Warwick Hospital outpatients at the moment. They've got injuries coming out their ears at the moment, and it is at Warwick, but I expect nothing but a Warwick win here. What's your thoughts on South, mate?
Yeah, look, with South, number one, those guys have got to turn up that have committed to play for the club for a start. But, mate, look, they're not the only club that's gone out and got flogged every week. There's been clubs all through our competition that's happened to. So I think some guys from South have to take a good look at themselves and man up and go and represent the club that they've signed up for. But Warwick will be hard to beat. They're a quality side, Warwick. So, but look, just if South guys can get out and put on a competition for the league public in general, mate, league's going to be the winner, eh?
Yep, you're right. And Dylan, you ran away with that Warwick match, but it was 4-0 for a long time, I think, from memory. And Warwick had players out. They're a good side.
Nah, they're a tough side. They're a typical country side. They got that big Joey out in the centres. He's a hard man to handle. But the Sullivan in the middle, he definitely steers them around. He has a different dimension for them.
Yeah, Dylan, I was going to say, you playing with Ben at 47th Battalion, did you actually appreciate him more?
Oh, 100%. The amount of work he gets through, and he was well deserving of his selection.
Yep.
And he showed that in the final. He's probably the player on ground.
Yeah, Nathan Barry, mate, he's back this week, is he?
Yeah, he came back last week from holiday, and that was a big inclusion.
So have you told him Ben Sullivan's your new best friend?
Nah, I can't go past Nathan, mate. He's definitely up there with me.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, we're going to go to the break. Thanks for coming, Dylan. We wish you all the best. We'll see you out there on Saturday. And over to you, Robbo.
And coming up after the break, it's Obi's Rant on the TRL Footy Show, brought to you by the Oki RSL and Power FM, live and free on Power TV Australia.
Break out the popcorn, sweets and drinks. It's Sunday night at the movies. Latest release movies brought to you exclusively by US filmmakers, including Lima Films. Sunday night at the movies, so join us every Sunday night at 7 p.m. right here on Power TV Australia.
Hi, this is Mick Jagger on
Classic Vinyl. This is Debbie Arrow from Blondie.
This is Jimmy Barnes here.
Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac.
This is Reverend Willie G from ZZ Top.
The best tracks from the greatest albums of our generation.
That's right.
From your breakfast and coffee to your drive home.
We've got the classic hits that make your workday.
When you got a job to do, go by a lot faster.
Hey, if we haven't said it lately, thanks for listening.
The home of classic rock.
Don't touch the dial.
PowerFMradio.com.au.
Playing indoor netball, cricket, soccer, dodgeball and volleyball is a great way to keep fit and catch up with friends, and the place to go and play any or all of these sports is Action Indoor Sports. There are competitions for juniors and adults of all levels of ability, from beginners to the most experienced. Action Indoor Sports is home to Inflatable World, an inflatable theme park for all ages, and new and coming soon, indoor softball. Go and see for yourself. Action Indoor Sports is located at 31 Spencer Street, Toowoomba. Check out the website ToowoombaIndoorSports.com or phone 46359999.
Well, welcome along to My Music. I'm Jeff Black. Let me tell you about the T-Bird Diner. Well, just over here, we've got a Ford custom line that's crashed through the wall. Next episode on My Music on Power TV Australia. I'll see you then.
The Mother's Day Classic raises funds for the National Breast Cancer Foundation, a not-for-profit organisation that promotes and supports research into the prevention and treatment of breast cancer. This year's event is on Sunday 13 May at Queen's Park, Lindsay Street, East Toowoomba from 7 a.m. Register now online for either the 3-kilometre walk or 6-kilometre run at www.mothersdayclassic.com.au. Then follow the prompts to the Toowoomba event. Cost for adults early birds $20 or on the day $25. Child concession early birds $10 or on the day $15 and family registrations are available. For more info, email mdctoowoomba@gmail.com. The Mother's Day Classic is proudly supported by Power TV Australia and Toowoomba's Power FM.
Thanks for joining us on the TRL Footy Show. And now it's time for Obi's Rant.
Well, let's talk about the competition and South and Brothers in particular. We certainly were encouraged by South players and the South community coming behind the club, and I think they had over 80 registered players that came to the fore. It was absolutely fantastic, you know. One thing I just hope with South is that those players who have all registered, right, that they are actually still involved. And if you haven't, right, please guys, okay, support this club. And look, and the same goes for Brothers. Now I know Brothers have got a lot of guys who have left for work and those type of stuff as well. But look, these clubs are the salt and the earth of the Toowoomba Rugby League, okay? And I think they have a really good product. It's unfortunate that their coaching problems really sort of was the start of it, but was there a bigger picture? I don't know, but the coaches was unfortunate for players of the quality of Dwayne Duncan and say Whittaker, for example, right, to search otherwise, elsewhere, and I can't blame them for doing that if they in fact are. But look, Nev, I think every rugby league club and their culture, right, does go through these periods of time.
Mate, they certainly do, Obi. And like if every club was going to be kicked out of the competition or gave up because they copped a bit of a flogging for a year or two, we'd have two teams left. It's just ridiculous, that sort of talk. But interestingly enough, those two clubs you mentioned, they had coach changeovers and chopped and changed before the season had even started. And if I'm a league player, I'm looking for stability in my club, within my team, and I'm looking for skill development. And if you can supply a coach, which I think Souths have with Heath Farlow there, that can better your game, improve your skill, the rest will sort itself out. So I think as we move forward, I think we stop the rot of talking about sides or clubs going. You look at South, they've got a brilliant under-18s. Their reserve grade is more than competitive. They'll probably figure in the semi-final. So I think that talk's got to stop. And as far as too many clubs for our competition, I think that's a load of rot. As I mentioned to David earlier on, those top four reserve grade sides would be competitive in the A-grade competition. So we have more than enough quality A-grade sides, players within our competition. As we look, we've got 6 of them representing Queensland, Obi.
Yeah, look, I agree. And I was going to say there, but I was speaking to you, is that we have a product. Yes, look, natural attrition will reduce the actual clubs as well. Yep. And does Brothers want it to be them? No. Does South? No. Does any of our competing clubs want it to be them? No, they won't. No. Okay? And I would suggest that the board of the Toowoomba Rugby League is not going to allow that to happen on their watch. Okay? We are a sport that has competitors like Union, soccer, Aussie Rules, like anyone else. And just because we're going through a lean period of time, I believe these two clubs will bounce back, okay? They're in a better position than Oakey was, and they can take a leaf out of Oakey's leaf out of their book, okay? They were down and out 2 seasons ago. They were getting beaten by 100. Now, it would have been easy for Oakey, all right, to say, okay, we'll put the flag out, we will forfeit for the rest of the season, right? That is not negotiable as far as I'm concerned, Nev. No. All right, South yes, getting beaten well in some as well, all right, but their Reggies and their juniors and the whole juniors club, they owe it to them and their supporters. But I know that the administration there are doing the best they possibly can. Now, if you're a South supporter, it's now time for you to step up, okay, and develop a culture irrespective of score. Is that right, Ned?
Mate, most definitely, Obi. I've watched 2 South games now, and they got towed up in both of them. But the talent they had, there was good enough to be an A-grade side. Where it's breaking down is the guys' attitudes. I went into the sheds before some of those games, and just their personal attitude, and the only person that can change that is the person itself. So if you pride yourself in being a rugby league player, and if you're not going to go out there and give the team and yourself 110%, mate, go and play soccer. We don't want them in the competition.
Yeah, I probably disagree with you a little bit. I did not go into the sheds when they played Gatton, but I did watch the game, and I was pretty happy with that they were still turning up to play.
Yep.
They had young fellas in there, and look, they were quite competitive. And Gatton, yes, they were a good side as well. But one thing I did notice that South did not drop their head, okay, and that is the key, I think, that the rugby league culture gives.
Are we talking about the substitute A graders that turned up, Obi, or the first A grade that were meant to turn up? Because from what I've read is that some guys just didn't even front, and that's not on within our competition or for your mates.
Look, that's right. Some people didn't think, but it didn't matter. They were playing in A grade, right? Whether it was the substitute or the Mickey Mouses or the under sevens, right? It doesn't matter. They had that Tigers jersey on, and I congratulate those players who were doing the hard yards. I didn't see whether a number of those had played reserve grade net. All right, and if they did, and they've had 80 plus signings, well, where the bloody hell are you guys? Okay, all right, we go from there. But that's enough from that. Other topics, guys. A few ladies' days coming up. I know that Highfields and is it not Dalby's? Pittsworth this week. So those ladies get onto the Facebook site and have a look at that and get out to those ladies' days. They are pretty good and they have a whale of a time. I know Dalby's coming up and also Gundawindi. So the ladies' days are always good fun, and we're looking forward to that, Nev.
Mate, certainly, Obi, and as any league player would know, and guarantee you there is a great female behind any good rugby league player, whether it's his mum, partner, girlfriend, daughter, etc. So they're certainly great days. Great day for the club, great day for league. So if you're a female and you want a great day out in football, go along to them.
All right, Nav, thanks for coming in.
Mate, cheers,
we'll speak to you on the weekend. Get out the footy, listen to us on Power FM. We're going to have a herding over to you, Robbo, to close us down.
This has been the TRL Footy Show. Thanks to our major sponsors, the Oki RSL, Power FM, Royce Music and Computer Troubleshooters. If you're in business and interested in advertising with us, you can contact us by phone or email with the details on the screen. This has been a Power TV Australia production in conjunction with Power FM. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and remember to download the Power TV Australia app from the Google Play Store. Thanks for your company for another edition of the TRL Footy Show. I'm Robbo. See you next week.